In the last video I said that this setup like this was kind of like semi-permanent, not gonna be like happening a lot, but I like it. I don't like sitting down in my videos. I like to be standing up. I like to feel, you know, moving about, because I'm a fiddler. I can't sit still for long. So usually I sit down there in front of my Disney shelf, but I quite like it up here because you can see my Disneyland Paris map there, the fairy shelf there. I like it. I like it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you like this new setup? Or should we go back to the old one? Or should we try a new one? Or am I just looking into it too much? Hello everybody, how are we? So this is going to be the last video in my Disneyland Paris Christmas series. Sad, I know, but don't worry because next Monday is the start of my next Disneyland Paris series and I'm so excited. Whew. This is the kind of vlogger, whatever you want to call me, I want to be. You know, when I finish one park series, I instantly start another. That's what I want to do, but my bank account won't support it. As you can tell by the title of the video, this is going to be the trip report. Usually I write notes down before a trip report, but I've got a lot on today so I haven't had time to. So I'm just going to be telling you guys what from my mind. Yeah, blabbled on long enough. Let's get on with it. If you haven't been watching this series or keeping up with my channel and Instagram, I went on the Sarah Louise Porter Disney Fam trip. It was the 2.0 one. I didn't get to go on the first one because work wouldn't let me have the time off. And honestly I didn't have the money to do it, so I knew when the second one came around I had to do it. And I'm definitely going to be on the rest of the trips. So if you were on the trip, you'll be seeing more of me in the future. So I was very nervous going into this because I didn't know anyone on the trip. I hadn't booked on with anyone. I knew some of the people off of Instagram that I'd already been following for a while. And when we booked onto the trip, Sarah made a Facebook group and then a WhatsApp group. So we all had time to get to know each other and like we all added each other on Instagram and stuff like that. So we knew each other like online, but obviously you still hadn't like met face to face and talked. A lot of people had, but I hadn't met up with anyone before the trip. So I went into it knowing no one and that gave me quite a lot of anxiety. I was very nervous and scared about that. But I was very excited because I kind of knew I was going to make some friends and I did. So I only had like 20 minutes on the coach on the UK side because I live in the south anyway. And so then when we got to Dover and when we got on the ferry, I didn't want to be one of those people that sat on by myself, but I kind of like self-accepted it. To me I was like, yeah, you know, you're going to be sat by yourself. But then I spotted my roommate. Before we went, we got to select roommates and she messaged me saying, hey, I haven't got a roommate, you haven't got a roommate, should we be roommates? So I spotted her and I kind of went, and she was already in a group of people, so I went over and joined them. And then they turned out to be my friends. So they were then the people I went around with on the trip and we made a group chat and we've all stayed in contact. They're absolutely my friends for life and went on to it knowing no one. And I came away with 4 best friends for life. We've all got plans to meet up. Me and Hannah are going to go to MCM London in May together. We're arranging that and a meeting up before then. She's like my big sister. I was the youngest out of our little group. I'm not sure if I was the youngest on the trip, but I was the youngest in our little group of 5. And so I was kind of like the baby of the group. And she keeps calling me her little Disney sister. So she's like my big sister, so it's nice. So it didn't actually take me long to make friends because I spotted my roommate and then she was already with some people. So then I joined them. So yeah, that's how I met those guys. You probably know of them because I'm always posting pictures of them on my Instagram and on my feed and stuff like that. So you guys probably know who they are by now, or you are them. Trip marked off a lot of stuff on my Disney bucket list for me, which was amazing. I haven't got my bucket list near me, so I won't go through it. I'll make a separate video on my Disney bucket list. Would you guys like to see that? Again, leave it in the comments below. Separate video for bucket list, but I have got a Disney parks bucket list and I managed to tick like 3 or 4 things off it on that trip, which was really cool. I stayed in a Disneyland hotel not the Disney hotel. We stayed in Santa Fe, and I've never stayed in a Disney hotel before, so that was cool. Tick. We went into the Disneyland hotel for tea. Well, I had a hot chocolate, but still. And I'd never been inside of that, and that was one of the things I really wanted to do. So tick. One of the things on my list was to go on a Disney solo trip. So I have ticked that off because it was kind of a solo trip. I went onto it knowing no one, so solo. And usually my trips are with my family, so I classed it as a solo trip, even though I wasn't on my own, but I still ticked it off as something I did, because it's something I accomplished on my own, which I didn't think I'd actually ever do. Ticked 3 things off my bucket list, which was very, very exciting. I did hope one of the things on the bucket is to close down the parks, where you're the last people in the parks after the fireworks and you can get that solo shot in front of the castle. I was going to do that, and some people from the trip did do it, but look, park days are long days, you know, you do like 40,000 steps a day. I was tired and I was getting up early each morning because I wanted to make full maximum time out of extra magic hours. So I was like, do I want to stay around in the cold rain to get a picture in front of the castle, or do I want to be up for rope drop in the morning? Obviously I want to do rope drop. So that, when we do the summer trip in June, I think it will be, I think then I will try to do the solo shot at the castle, because it will be a bit better weather than what it was in December. The weather wasn't actually too bad. First day was alright. I think the second day when we were leaving it rained a bit, which is a bit but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't as cold as I was expecting, which I haven't been in December for so long. I think January is always colder than December, so yeah. Like majorly happened that needs like storytelling. Like yeah, not much kicked off really. Oh, Star Tours. I went on it 6 times because the others like doing stuff like Hyperspace Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain and Terra Terra and blah, those kind of rides, thriller rides. I don't like thriller rides, so every time they went on one of those, I would either go onto a ride I liked in the area or a meet and greet in the area. So I ended up doing Star Tours quite a bit. Like if there was no meet and greets available at the time I wanted to do one of those rides, I'd look up the Star Tours queue and I'd head over to Star Tours. So I managed to do it 6 times, and twice of those I got it in English. I didn't know you could get them in English. I think you saw it in the vlogs we were talking about it. I thought it was all in French, but apparently it's 50-50 whether you get it in English or French. So the first time I went on it by myself, I got it in English and I was like, oh my god! And it's actually so much better because you can understand what is going on. I just got one of the old routes on it. I think I got the one where Leia comes on and she says, Star Tours, you're our only hope. I think I got that one in English. And then I told the guys that I got it in English, just like out of potluck. And then we decided when we went on it again, we would ask the person that puts you on the ride if we could get it in English, because the person that tells you which aisle to go in, they're the one that chooses what ride you get. So they decide which films and footage you get, so they're the person that decides your language as well. And I think they decide if there's more French or English speaking people on the ride, depending which one they put on it. That's just my logic behind it. So there was 5 of us going on it, and so we said to them, is there any chance we could get it in English? And she said, how many of you are there? And we said 5, and she went, no, think about it. And then we went on the ride and it was in English, so twice in English. Also, I got to do some of the new maps. So at the time we're filming this, there is obviously new maps. There's the Rise of Skywalker maps available. I didn't do those ones weren't a thing then. I got to do maps from The Last Jedi, which I hadn't done before. I'd only ever done maps from the original trilogy. So I got to do some Last Jedi once, which was cool. And so you like had BB-8 pop up and give you a message. Finn came on the little screen and gave a message. Poe came on the screen and gave a message. You got to do the Battle of Crate, which was cool. You flew it from the back, so you saw the crystal foxes running about leaving the cave, and then you fly over the cave. Just as, you know, the resistance fighters are going towards the First Order, and you're just kind of amongst them. And it was so cool. I sound so nerdy. But that was so cool. I hadn't done one of those before, so I'm really hoping when I go in 2 weeks I get to do either some of that one again, or I really want to try out some of the new Rise of Skywalker maps. I haven't heard of anyone that has done them yet, but they're definitely a thing. I think they said they're for limited time only. I think it's going to be only during Star Wars season. But it would be cool if they made all the maps a permanent thing. So yeah, I don't know what is going to be in the Rise of Skywalker maps, because I literally haven't heard anything about it other than that it's a thing. So looking back at episode 9 as a movie and trying to work out what scenes they could fit in, one of the scenes I definitely think they will need to include is the end scene when they're all on Exegol, and you know, the camera pans around and all of those ships are there, you know, when they gave out the signal for help and everyone responded, and there's a scene of masses and masses of ships. That should be a thing. I think the general fighting on Exegol with the ships should be a thing. Like when those horse things went out onto the flyer, that was cool. That should be a thing. I can't think of any other scenes that need to be. Maybe when Poe is lightspeed skipping through all the different planets. That would be a cool thing if like Star Tours got hooked along on that and we were lightspeed skipping. That'd be cool. Otherwise I'd just be happy with anything. Yeah, so I'll wait and see. This trip I managed to do the most character meets on a trip that I have ever done. I managed to do 12 meet and greets, which was quite insane. I did a lot of them during extra magic hours. So I think that's how I managed to do so many. I went for 2 park days and I managed to do 12. I did 6 a day. So that was really cool. So if you've been following me on Instagram, you'll know that I've now added character meet tallies into my bio. So I have 33 now. So that trip really boosted my character meets. It's quite funny. We got quite a lot of inside jokes. Like happy universal holidays. I'm not going to explain that one, I'm just going to leave that there. So to my rainforest explorers, happy universal holidays. Came down to the last day. I didn't want to leave. I got so used, like in the space of 3 days it had already become my lifestyle. I already had a routine. Every night, even if we got in late after fireworks, I'd put Disney Channel on, we'd watch Jessie, we'd watch The Lodge. Same nighttime routine I have at home, but it was the same at the hotel. After The Lodge I'd go have a shower, I'd go to bed, wake up at 6, get ready for extra magic hours, go to extra magic, blah blah blah. And I really just got into a routine, so when it came to the last day and I had to pack up to go home, I was like, no! I could have really got into that and, you know, just had extra magic hours every day, go to the parks every day, watch The Lodge every day. You know, I was living my best life. It was very mixed emotions because I didn't want to leave. But then again, I missed my family. This was the first trip I'd done in ages. I've only ever done 2 trips without them, and this was both with colleges and high school. So it was weird being like at Disney without them, so I did miss them. I'm going to go back to Disney with the Disney fam. So because I vlogged a lot on this trip, even though I didn't vlog as much as I wanted to, I did get quite a lot of footage. That's why I don't feel like there's much to say in this trip report, because I feel like everything that I need to say I've already covered in the vlogs. Oh, there is one thing that I did put on my story, but if you don't follow me on Instagram, I will let you know. When I went to meet Jack Skellington, all the meet and greets I handed my phone over to the cast members so they could take a picture, because I don't do photo pass. I handed my phone over to the guy, went over to Jack, had a chat, got an autograph, and then we posed for a picture. And then said bye, left, and started walking to the next location. I go back on my phone and look at the picture to see what kind of picture they'd taken of him. They took a few of me and Jack and they were really good. And they took some of me and him talking and him signing my book and stuff like that. All good. But they took a selfie as well. Let me get it up. This is the picture the 2 cast members took on my phone. And isn't that just so funny? Yeah, it was just a little token from the trip. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for all the support during this Disney series. I hope you all stick around for the next lot, which will be commencing next week with the first pack with me of the series. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry I didn't have much to say, but I have already told you all a lot about this trip, so it was just kind of more of a chatty video. Please hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy this video, and subscribe to see more Disney park stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye!